Keith Bogart of EXP Realty, and I'm here today with Dylan Morris of the Little Nicaragua Coffee Company located over on Stafford Drive North in Lethbridge. Dylan, can you tell us a little bit about your business?
So we're a local coffee roasting company in Lethbridge Alberta here. We import green coffee from our family farms in Nicaragua.
Okay.
And do the roasting right here. So I tell people it's as local as coffee can get, being the fact that we produce it and roast it.
That's cool. And it's, from what I know, it's considered more of a specialty coffee as well?
Yeah, totally. All of our coffees range from 84 to 87.5 points.
Yeah.
Anything over 80 is considered specialty by the Specialty Coffee Association. So, yeah.
That's great. So, Dylan, where are you originally from? Did you grow up in Lethbridge?
Yeah, I'm born and raised in Lethbridge. So is my wife, who's one of the business partners, and also my brother-in-law, who's one of our business partners in the roasting company here. So yeah, we're all three of us are local.
That's really cool. And so, how did you guys decide to open this business?
So one of the main factors was the connection to the family farm. The fact that we had, coffee, and the in-laws were just selling it to the big buyers down in Nicaragua. One of the big things for me was the first time I went to Nicaragua, saw the farm, saw the coffee being produced, and was just blown away by it, and was like, we need to do something like this beyond you guys selling to these wholesalers down here. David, my brother-in-law, always had an idea of having a coffee shop when he was older, as his family had access to family coffee.
Sure, that's really neat. And specialty coffee is great, and I think once people experience it, they'll see the difference versus I won't mention names, your typical run-of-the-mill coffees. I think once you try it, I think it's hard to go back.
Big time.
I know I tried it recently, and I'm sold on it. So I'm sure anyone who experiences will know what I mean. So what was it like when you got started? When you guys started, open a coffee shop in Lethbridge?
So we actually started in 2018, and we just started doing some of the little festivals and markets and stuff around town, like the Latin Fest, Taste of Nicaragua, Heritage Days. We were part of the Lethbridge Handmade Market quite a few times. And it was 2020 where we got into the farmers market. And that was huge for us. Big reception from the people of Lethbridge there, which was great to see. And by the end of it, we had people asking us, where are we going to find you outside of the market? So that was a big one for us to try to get a commercial facility so that we could either get in storefronts so people could get us, when they're grocery shopping per se, or a 5-year plan was always to have a cafe. So found this building and it was like, let's pull the trigger.
So when did you guys actually open at this location?
So our location opened up January 2021.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it's been just over a year and a half now that we've had the little cafe and opened, and it's been great.
Did you find any challenges? I know for some small business, local business, dealing with COVID, or did you guys managed to get through that, and business seemed to you managed to deal with it?
We had a few restrictions throughout some of that time, and truthfully, it was a weird one because we didn't have a physical location before that. So the fact that we did have a place that, even though we were only open for things to go, it was still more than we had the prior year. So it's a weird one to say, but even some of the government money we couldn't qualify for because we were doing better than we were last year. Or the prior year, right?
Well, I guess it's a good problem to have.
It was, honestly, it was. It was a great problem to have, and that's a big one again with the reception that we've gotten from the local people of Lethbridge. It's been huge.
That's great. So what drives you to do what you do, and what motivates you to run a coffee shop?
Truthfully, the biggest motivator, again, coming back to that first trip to Nicaragua, seeing the coffee, seeing the farm, seeing how coffee's produced. And I mean, I've drank coffee since I was in junior high, but didn't have the respect for it until I drank my in-laws' coffee. And then going to the farm, seeing it, talking to them about, what kind of money is in selling green coffee. Any farming, it's next to nothing, truly.
And I think it's changed. Well, from what I've seen, it's changed somewhat because now people it's more of an experience with coffee now. I know growing up, it was just, cheap coffee that you'd find at your grocery store. And I think over the years, probably in the last, I might be wrong here, 10 years or so, I think it's becoming more and more that people are looking for more organic specialty coffees versus the run-of-the-mill coffee.
So that's the big driver. It's truly to change the whole farmer gets nothing for our family back in Nicaragua.
Yeah, that's really neat. What has surprised you most about owning a business, more specifically this coffee shop?
Honestly, coming back to the reception from the local community, and the people I find right now, they love our story, and they want to support that story. Yeah. Knowing where their coffee is coming from, right to the actual farm, and the family that's producing it. Yeah. It's amazing to see how many people hear about the story and then want to support that story because of how special it truly is.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. Knowing it's a family business, and so you're supporting local here, and not only here but outside the country, and I think that's really great. Yeah, and it's good to see that people are recognizing that as well.
Totally.
What is something people don't know about the business?
Most people that find us don't know that story. So I'm always asking people, have you tried this before? If they say no, I try to tell them the story straight away so that they can, understand that is what really sets us apart from everybody else.
And I think that's important when you're dealing with competition. And I think the story is great. And I think it really, by doing that, you've engaged the customer right away, like you did with when we came in here.
Right.
It's just such a neat story. Mm-hmm. And then once you experience how good the coffee is, that says it all.
Yes.
What would your customers say they love most about your business, the coffee shop?
Well, besides the initial impression when they first walk in the door, and we get all the time like, oh wow, this is a beautiful space. Yeah. Beyond that, again, it comes back to the story. When we tell people that, and that's why we get people coming back truly, because they're like, I want to support this. The coffee speaks for itself. Once they do drink the coffee, they taste the difference. And it's a funny one to say, but I've ruined coffee for many people. They'll drink this, they'll go back to whatever they used to drink, and they come back in, they say, I can't drink my old coffee.
Yeah, and I could see that happening for sure. Yes. What is your most memorable customer experience, would you say? Have you had any interesting experiences with a customer or customers?
Yeah, so one of our, I want to say it was probably the handmade market, but it could have been the farmer's market. But either way, a gentleman came through, and he had been to Nicaragua before. Yeah. He said, I'm really excited to try this. I've been to the country. I love their coffee. Yeah. If this coffee is as good as Nicaraguan rum, I'll be a customer for life. And he still orders two bags of coffee almost every month, every other month, and I'll go deliver it to him. And it was a great story, and the fact that he still comes back to buy the coffee is, I remember that story and I tell it to people all the time.
That's a great story. That's a really great one. So why do you think it's important for people to support local business?
Big one would be when you spend your money in a local business, the money stays in the community.
For sure.
When I make money, I'm going out in the community to spend my money. Yeah. From our own business, we get our cards made from a local card making place. We try to do as much stuff locally as possible. And again, you support local, the money stays in the community, which in further grows the community.
Yeah, no, I agree with that 100%, because it's so important now to be supporting local business, especially with what we went through the last 2 years with COVID and everything. And now we're dealing with the cost of living has gone up substantially. Right. So even more so, it's critical for people to do that. And like you said, you support one local business, you're probably at the end of the day you're supporting 100 of them, because it's just a trickle down effect.
Totally.
Yeah. What are your goals over the next year of the coffee shop?
Big one right now, we're looking to get our website finalized so that we can start shipping from our website. Okay. Like Canada-wide is the big one. Yeah. We do offer free delivery in Lethbridge currently, if you were to order through email through us, or on Instagram or something. But to get our website going where people can order right online, if they are local to Lethbridge, still have that free delivery option, and then be able to ship out to people in Canada, and just reach a further crowd of people that might not necessarily have access to this local farm to cup coffee.
I think that's great to offer that, and I think many people across the country would be really thrilled by that. I know there is more local roasters now, but I don't I haven't come across one yet that has the story or background that this one has, which is really interesting.
Yeah, very special.
What have been some of the challenges you guys faced with just getting started with a coffee shop? Have you run into any challenges, or was it just pretty smooth sailing?
There's always like a few challenges. I mean, when we first got into the building to do all the renos and get it up going, we obviously, like anybody, had a reduced budget. We're not loaded with money where we could just build a giant, beautiful cafe per se. But we put the time in and a lot of the work ourselves to make this place what it is, and super proud of that. But it was a bit of a challenge, and our initial open date got pushed back a little bit here and there. But
getting it all ready, first you got to find the right space, and then access, and then visualizing how this space is going to turn out the way you want it, and it to be inviting and comfortable for people.
Yeah.
But you guys have done a great job. So.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. So Dylan, what is something that most people don't know about you?
Well, myself, I'm actually a journeyman machinist.
Okay.
I got into machining, and it's such an art form where you take a piece of metal that may not be able to be used for anything specifically at the time, and you turn it into something useful. It gave me a very meticulous attitude into my profession and what I do, as I did consider it such an art form.
That's really cool.
It's now really neat that I've taken the same meticulous attitude and put it into my coffee roasting and the coffee brewing. I feel like that's really given me, the mindset and the patience to bring forward the product that we have.
It sounds like, from what you've told me, that's something that would be important when dealing with coffee.
Oh, yes.
Just identifying what, the different types of coffee and how they can be used, and the grinds and all that stuff. I know there's a lot more to it than that. Yeah, for sure. What do you enjoy doing in your spare time? And I know running a small business, spare time is two words they rarely happen, but when you do in fact find spare time.
I love hanging out with my family. If I have to shut down something for the night, if I have plans or something, I gotta quit them to be with the family. I'd rather do that any day of the week. And a big one too is my wife and I. We both play soccer. So
do you? That's cool.
We love playing soccer together. It's one of our big enjoyments as a couple that we play mixed soccer together. So
neat. Yeah, that's really cool. And who from your childhood would you say had the biggest impact on you?
Honestly, I would say my father. My dad was a machinist. He worked in a lot of machine shops. So he got me into machining. The meticulous attitude I was speaking about earlier, that 100% is a big one from my father.
Okay.
I don't want to say, borderline OCD, but it can almost be sometimes where we're so meticulous about things as machinists that, you don't want to mess something up. So you're always so careful about all your steps. And that's carried through in a lot of aspects in my life, and again into the roasting. Yeah,
I find it interesting with different people I've spoken to, how they've acquired skills from something which they may not have known end up going into, or it's a parent kind of directs them into that route, and then they find out it kind of leads them into what they're passionate about, and they can, like, I know what you mean exactly, and you can utilize those skills. So that's totally really neat. If a young person was to ask you for advice on how to live their life, what would you say to them?
Honestly, cliche, but I would say do what you're super passionate about. At the end of the day, work doesn't feel like work because of the passion and love that I have for coffee. And if you can find something that passionate that you have, that much passion for, then do it.
I think that's really.
It's not always about the money.
It is.
It's about the enjoyment of life, and I love coffee. So
it's great advice, and I think that's super important. And sometimes people find that passion at a young age, and then some people, they experience different things, and the passion kind of occurs at a later stage, and they may not even realize, and then they have found it. So I think the key is to be patient and open to new things.
That was machining for me. I mean, I got my machining ticket, I think I was probably 28 years old when I actually got my ticket, right? But I found that passion a bit later, when after a few years out of school, and I absolutely loved it.
That's great. Is there anything exciting that customers should know about?
Right now, we do have a sale on our last year crop of coffee. So we've got some really high scoring pointing coffees that are on sale right now, which is a bonus. Our Saturday brunches here are getting super popular.
Nice.
Saturday from 9 to 1, it's becoming a big thing. So I think, the more people that can find out about it and try it is a big one.
So, and this brunch this is no ordinary brunch from what I've heard.
No, it's like traditional Nicaraguan style. My in-laws are in here making the food traditional style. Neat. And it's special.
So I think it's really worth people coming in to check that out.
Yeah,
it sounds
totally.
like it's very popular.
Yeah, beyond the coffee, that's something that's really special going on.
So what is the best way for customers to contact you and learn more about the coffee shop?
One of the easiest ways to talk coffee is to come in. I'll talk your ear off about coffee all day long if you want to. But through email, you can shoot us an email. We check it daily, so we usually get back to people right away through email or even through Instagram messaging. You can give us a call during our operating hours, and we'll answer the phone and can answer some questions pretty quickly.
What's the best number to reach you at?
Our number is 403-380-0643.
Okay, great. Well, thanks, Dylan, and thank you for taking the time to tell us more about the Little Nicaragua Coffee Company.
Yes.
And all I can say is you have to come out here and check it out over at 359 Stafford Drive North, and you will not be disappointed at all.
Yes.
Thanks.
Thanks so much.